All right, so welcome back, guys, to, well, what should be our third game of the night, what ended up being our second game of the night. We do have a round of 32 matchup coming up here. We do have TFAO facing off against TBH in the brackets. Again, it is a round of 32 matchup. And it is yet another best of one. Winner goes home, or winner moves on, loser goes home. I'm Zyori, with me is Min. Min, how you feeling? Game number 2 coming up here. What's your take?
Yeah, finally we got a game started after such a half an hour break down there. So yeah, really looking forward to this game number two. So yeah, perhaps we'll see some exciting match down here. Yeah.
Yep. I'm very much looking forward to it as well. The best of ones, I have mixed feelings. I understand why we have the best of ones because, well, we can't have this tournament taken all night, but it does add an interesting flavor. You know, these teams have to be very cautious. You know, you got to go with those strategies that you're very comfortable with. You don't want to experiment too much because the margin from error is quite low indeed. So we'll see. Do you know either of these teams here, Min?
Yeah, I mean, we just for the game one we casted TFAO, so they are on the same game for game number two. So yeah, pretty much we see what they did just now with the Ratchet Hair with Stroud going on DPS mode as well as the Wish Slayer, which plays really well with the Portal Key. So yeah, they pretty have quite decent players over the Legion team. So, but for the Hellborn team, I don't know any one of them here. So perhaps they're going to shock me something and leave their name into my memory. Yeah.
Well, I certainly hope so here. The first ban that did come out actually was on Aluna. I cleared chat, and that did get cut off, so don't let these fool you. There actually was an Aluna ban as well. We start going through these a little bit. We do have the follow-up bans on Pebbles, Silhouette, Behemoth, Tempest, Polywog Priest, and Magebane. And it looks like we're going to have one last ban here coming out for our Legion side in just a moment. Pretty straightforward. A lot of huge AoE damage taken out of the pool. I have to admit, man, I'm a little bit... I guess surprised to see Behemoth making it into the banning pool here. He does not seem to be a popular pick these days whatsoever.
Yep. I mean, Behemoth is actually a good pick, but it needs skills to actually use him, because if you don't have a skill player to play Behemoth, he will actually become a double-edged sword because he actually blocks off your own teammate instead of the enemy. So yeah, it actually needs some skillful players. So perhaps if this team who banned the TFAO, which is TFAO banned this Behemoth, I think they don't have any Behemoth players and they are afraid to face him, so they will ban him instantly.
Well, that's a good thing to point out. He is a high skill cap hero, and it's pretty easy for him to fall off very quickly. But still an interesting ban, nonetheless. Torture, actually, that last ban to come out. And just based on the other bans here, you mentioned that AoE magic damage seems to be the thing that is feared by both sides alike. Predator going to be the first pick here for our pink side, the Hellborn team. Always glad to see a Predator. We saw him in game number 1 get nice and meaty. Perhaps that'll happen here twice in a row. The Legion side, Hammerstorm and Witch Slayer going to be the first 2 picks. So again, 2 very nice heroes. We saw a Witch Slayer do quite well in game 1. Pumped to see a Hammerstorm as well.
Yep, I really love the Hammerstorm pickup, and I think Hammerstorm is really a great hero in high tier games or in normal games as well. So he has a great stun ability as well as the movement speed buff, and it can act as a supporter as well as a carry. So yeah, if he can start off as a supporter role, and if he gets enough farm, he can turn into a supporting hero to a carry hero. So I really love the Hammerstorm pickup right here from the Legion team.
Yep, and that is very true. If he wants to go carry mode, he's going to have to start nice and early with that farming, though. It is a little bit difficult to make that transition sometimes if you go hard support early on. But you're exactly right, good sir. A very versatile hero, and one not to be underestimated if he does manage to get some farm. Another hero that we were talking about a little bit in between games, actually, privately, Draconis, one that we were both disappointed, hasn't been getting too much love in the competitive tournament scene, so I don't know, man. I am pretty pumped to see Draconis picked up here.
Yeah, so we see a Draconis pick up by the Legion team, and we have the to think that Hammerstorm is going on the supporting role at start because they already had a Draconis. So yeah, they have to carry the support this Draconis as hard as they could. So yeah. And I really love the Draconis pickup, and he really do a good tri-lane with either one of them. They have like Hammerstorm, Witchlayer, and Glaciers to actually line up with Draconis to set up tri-lane. So, wow, it's really powerful here, and it's really a huge blow to the Hellborn team.
Yep. And again, if Rampage gets picked up here, I'm not sure exactly where he's going to fit in the way of farm. They are going to go with the Rampage pick. So that does make their lanes a little bit interesting. If they opt for a tri-lane, you bit your biscuit that Hammerstorm is going to be a part of it. They're going to need that range to pair up with Rampage. Maybe they'll even do a solo Rampage here. We'll have to see what they do in the way of lanes. Or on the Hellborn side of things, they have some interesting picks coming about. They have some options for a tri-lane as well. They could very well allow this Meraxes to go solo, or they could pair him up with, presumably, the Andromeda here. I love the idea of a Predator Voodoo Jester lane. So aggressive. If you open with that cocktail, land a Mojo, follow up with a leap, that is so much damage, so hard to deal with. But they very well just may go for the tri-lane as well, which could be interesting. I'd love to see some frisky tri-lane on tri-lane action.
Yeah, that's right. I really love Voodoo Jester's stun, and it's like so irritating when it keeps bouncing, especially when there's two heroes and he casts that stun, and it's like, oh my god, you got a stun bouncing off the heroes. I can't get help me, and yeah, so I really love the Voodoo Jester's pickup, but it's not often picked up as we see. So, well, we see something new here, maybe.
Yeah, well, Voodoo Jester is an interesting hero. I actually really was not a big fan of the Voodoo pickup for quite some while, especially in my days as a Han caster for Hancast. And I don't know what, actually I do know, I do recall what did it for me. And there was this one game where we saw a Voodoo Kraken lane, and it just dominated, absolutely dominated, and sort of for the reasons that I described as to why it can dominate with a Predator. That cocktail and Mojo combo is just so powerful. Voodoo Jester, though, he's going to walk into the danger zone. He's going to get caught here. That's going to be an easy bloodlust. Down he goes. I think Predator is going to fall here shortly after as well. If they don't get this kill, I will be shocked. Bloodlust, though, coming out for Draconis himself. Who better to pick up that kill than Draconis? Hammerstorm going to be able to pick up the second kill onto Predator. Wow, Hellborn team already off to a rocky start here, man. That's exactly what TOFA was looking for.
Yeah, that's right. They had the Career Scout, and the Hellborn team did not actually use the Wing Career to actually scout for the top lane, so it's pretty wasted because they actually upgraded it but not using it to scout for them for early purposes. To actually like identify their lanes, so like what most competitive teams actually do at the early games. So, well, that's very unfortunate for the Hellborn team, and Draconis actually got the first blood.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty huge.
And oh no, Voodoo Jester, if you didn't learn your lesson already, you're about to learn it again, buddy. And I think he's going to pay the ultimate price here. One or two more auto attacks ought to do it. He's going to try to use the potion. Wow, and he's actually going to be able to survive. A little bit of a misplay from the Glacius Hammerstorm duo there, if I don't say so myself. I think they could have finished that Voodoo kill. All Glacius had to do was man up a little bit longer. I think Hammerstorm could have taken a couple of tower shots and bought Glacius enough time for those auto attacks. But still, you can see the lane control, man. This Legion tri-lane. Draconis doesn't even need the tri-lane at the moment. He's having plenty of fun in lane with Voodoo Jester so low on health. They're going to actually just break up the tri-lane. Glacius is going to stick around, and Hammerstorm's going to back up and share some of that experience. He's actually going to go ahead and pick up a mana potion here, and then we'll see where he ends up. He very well may just try and gank this mid lane. It's going to be Wretched Hag going up against Witchslayer. And, yep, he's just going to come in from around the back. I also want to comment on this Wretched Hag skin here, Min. Seems every time we cast together, there's a new skin that I'm yet to see, and this one is, wow, very adorable. What is that, Phantom or something?
I'm not really sure about the skin's name, but this is definitely the new limited skin for Wretched Hag, and I absolutely love it. And every time it attacks, it spins one round and shoots the pigeon. It's actually a pigeon if you realize it.
Oh. Okay. Is it really a pit? It was just like trickster, wretched hag, magician hag. In the bottom lane, Andromeda, gonna be in some trouble, hun. She's gonna go down. Nothing she can do about it. Sugar gonna be the one to pick up that kill. How sweet. Sugar gonna come out ahead. So this solo Rampage, I think we're gonna see a much different Rampage than we saw in game number 1. Not only picking up a kill, but he's picking up a good bit of farm down here. 11-3 against the 4-1 Meraxes. I haven't been looking at this bottom lane. I was tunneled on the mid for a little while, thinking that this wretched hag may be under some pressure from Hammerstorm. Still yet to make it happen, but he is going to linger around a little bit longer. This bottom lane, though, what is going on? How is Rampage doing so well? I feel like he should not be able to farm so easily in that 2v1 scenario. Oh, in the mid, Hammerstorm goes in, but nice defensive blink from Hag. She's going to stay alive, no problem.
Yeah, according to what you have analyzed just now at the bottom lane, I think because right now, as you can see, Andromeda is still sitting at level 1 or at level 2 right now. So, Rampage has a high damage output from the Horn Strike, so he will be able to farm creeps fairly easily. So Andromeda can't actually out-harass Rampage because there's an action going on top. So Draconis actually managed to bring down Voodoo Jester once again. So, Voodoo Jester should actually learn to play more defensively against a Draconis tri-lane. So, talking about bottom lane again, because right now Rampage actually had the boots on, so it's fairly, Rampage will be the one harassing Andromeda instead of Andromeda harassing Rampage. So, fairly, he's having a good time right now at bottom lane. So, as you can see, Andromeda can't really do much to Rampage.
Yeah,
stopping him to.
That's true, and he does have the range advantage, but as we're all pretty well aware, Andromeda has such a low range, only 400 compared to what I consider the norm of 600, I guess. Rampage just a little bit too fast. I'm a little bit surprised at the Rampage build here. They're actually going level 3 Stampede. I would have thought that he would be going level 3 Horn Strike. Usually a 1-1-3 is the Rampage build I think of as sort of normal here. I think it's actually sort of rare to see Stampede leveled up as the primary, especially with no points in Might of the Herd. So kind of an interesting take on Rampage here, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's true. Normally when we see a Rampage player, we don't add a Stampede to level 3. We only like a level 1 on a Stampede, or then we max out either this Horn Strike or the second skill, which is the Might of the Herd, because it's actually quite overpowered, and his base damage becomes incredibly high if he adds the second skill. So so we don't normally see a Stampede add up. So Rampage is facing a big trouble right here, and a stun from Andromeda, followed by a stun from Voodoo Jester and a stun from Meraxes. A follow-up stun, but Voodoo Jester is a big trouble here. He's going to bring him down with him. He was like, okay, since you guys gang me and I'm going down, might as well I bring you down to me as well. So well played by Rampage there, doing a fair trade down there.
Yeah. Exactly right. Level 2 Voodoo Jester. He needed to play that one just a little bit more defensively. This Voodoo is sitting 1-3, 5.5 minutes in. That is not where you want to be. Just needs to pump the brakes a little bit, hit the parking lot, and just slow it down. We'll see. Hopefully he makes a little bit of the turnaround here coming up soon. Voodoo Jester is one hero that can fall off so fast. He has no built-in escape mechanism, and if he can't get an item to do so for him, whether it's a tablet, whether it's a PK, whether it's Invis, he needs to do something up in the top. No big surprise. Predator going to get taken out, but now Voodoo Jester very well may fall right here. He's in tower range, but between Draconis and Glacius, he is in big trouble. He's got a couple of tangos, but it doesn't matter. So easy for Draconis here. Level 3 Dragonflame going to be able to finish him off. Double tap going to come out, and Ultimate Warrior Draconis only 6 minutes in. Scary stuff indeed. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Rampage doing what he does best, farming away. And meanwhile, in the mid, the Witchslayer Hammerstorm combo seems to be enough to finish off Wretched Hag. I did actually miss most of that action, but 8-1. This is going to be a rough game for our Hellborn side, man.
Yeah, that's right. It's a really good start for the Legion team, and Draconis is like already on an Ultimate Warrior streak, so they have to do something about the Draconis up there.
Yeah, well, that is certainly right. And I just want to comment on this Rampage thing again about Might of the Herd. Even if you don't level it up as the primary, it's a 1-point wonder of an ability. And oh, in the mid lane here, Witch Slayer, he's gonna fall. Gonna be a little bit too much. So that's a step in the right direction. That's what this Hellborn team needed. It is 8-2, and they're quickly falling behind, but not all hope is gone. They have a nice aggressive team. If they can continue to set up kills like they just did there, they can certainly start turning things around. But yeah, that Might of the Herd, it's really just a 1-point wonder. That 3% of your movement speed is attack damage. Yeah, it really gets out of control once you level it up with all 4 points, but even 3% of that 355 is pretty significant when you're talking about base damage. So just again, just to harp on that 1 point early on is generally worth it, in my opinion, even if it's just one.
Yeah, totally agree with that. Yeah, it's just a one. It may seem just to be a 1 point, but that 1 point is really huge. I mean, it increases your movement speed, increase your damage, as well as So I would rather him to actually add 1 point to.
Yep.
Also, another engage coming through at bottom lane, so Rampage is facing a big trouble, and he's going for Voodoo Jester once again. Might be able to bring him down, but wow, Voodoo Jester is juking through the forest, and Rampage is in big trouble. So he's teleporting, but he's not able to make it, I guess. Yeah, there we go. Andromeda actually pick up the kill on Rampage. Yeah.
That was so unfortunate. Rampage was about 9 mana short to get that ultimate off. He had 165, I believe it's... is it 175 for the ulti? I just had it up. Yeah, it is 175, so he was close but not quite there, and if he had the ultimate, I'm quite sure that would have been a kill on Voodoo Jester. So again, the right idea, unfortunately this time not executed quite as well as it needed to be to make it happen. Unfortunate for Rampage. I think some wards may be very helpful for him down here. I like the spot where Angel I Love You has that ward of sight. I love that ward location, although I think Rampage may benefit from a ward there a little bit more. Hopefully the Legion side picks up the warding a little bit. In the mid lane, my apologies. As soon as I go to look at that ward, we miss a kill onto Wretched Hag. Pretty straightforward for Witch Slayer, though. Silver Bullet, Graveyard, GG, no re. That is one squishy Wretched Hag.
Yeah, that's right. Like, okay, talking about the ward back then again. So, well, I always like a good defensive ward for the Legion team when there's actually a farming hero at the bottom lane. So to keep actually the hero safe. So yeah, right here we can see a Moraxus being engaged by Hammerstorm, but a nice stun coming from Moraxus to be able to stop the engage. Yeah, so like what I said just now, if you have a farming hero at the bottom lane, so it's better that you have never mind, on the top lane again. Oh, yeah. Dekon is in big trouble, and he's going to go down here. Yes, and the last hit by Predator, and Predator is in big trouble. Charged by Rampage, and he's going to be taken down by Rampage, and he's continue pursuing. Yeah, his ultimate.
It wasn't a very effective ult, but it was enough for the kill. Witch Slayer going to come in, and that's going to make it a 3-for-1 when it's all said and done. Very nicely done by Witch Slayer there to come in at the end, just clean up the Andromeda. Nicely done by Rampage as well, all across the board. Even Draconis, that stutter step micro was phenomenal right there, trying to get every auto attack in, mitigate that damage as much as possible, and he did a great job buying time for the rest of his team to get there and clean that up, making it a very cost-effective exchange. 12-4 now. We see our Legion team, TFAO, leading TBH.
Yeah, currently they are leading the game, but well, it's not over yet, so
yep.
Perhaps they're going to get some farm right now, and they're going to come back at a later game because their heroes are quite strong at a late game phase. So, yeah.
Oh, up in the top lane, the tower's going to fall. Draconis going to be able to pick up that last hit as if his farm wasn't already scary. Look at that GPM chart, man. 435, doubling the leading farmer, the Hellborn side, who is Moraxus, of course, at only 205 GPM. That is a scary statistic right there. We talked about Draconis a little bit earlier on in this game, but that is a hero to be feared, especially when he picks up a lot of farm. Just an incredible hero across the board. We're going to see an engage up here at the top. Looks like Wretched Hag may get taken out. Going to be able to blink, and one more auto attack. Wretched Hag going to survive with about 3 hit points. The Silver Bullet going to be used on Predator. Hag going to be able to get away, and all the while, it looks like Voodoo Jester and Andromeda were playing with the rest of the team. a bit too much for him to handle. So it's all said and done. Looks like another 1-for-3 exchange, favoring our Legion side yet again.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, wow, by looking at just now, the engaged Dragon is so pained to be able to take down Ratchet Hack so much like instantly with the assist of his another teammate. So, well, there goes the second tier tower to the Legion team, and it's really huge right now. They're leading through almost 10k gold deficit, so really good shape.
Absolutely. So where is Draconis going in the way of item choices? What's on the courier? Oh, just a little homecoming stone. Unless he's bought something in the bank, he's getting pretty close to that blessed orb. I imagine that sustainer will turn into a null stone. Draconis, one such hero that really benefits from the bigger mana pool, the regeneration. But, you know, I still, just in the way of hard carry, Draconis can do so much, not only because of the nature of his abilities to really take off those items, but because of his farming mechanics. We've talked about Blazing Flight a little bit in the past. He can take out those double and triple stacks in the jungle so quickly if you have a support stacking the jungle for you. It's ridiculous how fast he can farm. We've seen it a couple times, and they're actually not farming Draconis quite as quickly as they could be, perhaps, if they were stacking the jungle, but I guess part of that's just because he had such a good time up top in the way of picking up kills and tower kills, but yeah, that farming mechanic with Blazing Flight as well as the Fiery Barrage, so scary on a hero like that.
Yeah, he is a farming machine in Horn, and I don't find... Oh, there's Engage going through and mid. A swap by Andromeda on a Witch, and he's in big trouble now. Stun for like Hammer Storm, but not be able to save Witch Slayer.
Yeah, very nicely done. Andromeda manning up right there. He just hopped right into the action, saw the opportunity, and seized the day. Beautiful Void Rip right there. Really couldn't have been much better.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, so from what I say just now on Draconis, so Draconis is really one of a farmer. I mean, he's a farming machine. He can go in the jungle and just clear the creeps like so fast, and I can't find any more hero that can beat Draconis in farming in terms of skill wise, if we don't take items into consideration. So
right,
yeah,
I can think of a few heroes in the past that perhaps were there, but not right now. I know Zephyr rings a bell, as does Amun-Ra back in the day when his passive was procced by neutrals. But right now, I think you make a good point. He's kind of unmatched in that regard as far as being able to farm the jungle. So, regardless though, Draconis has now picked up the Blessed Orb, so well on his way to that Null Stone. The item choice that's really jumping out at me, though, is, whoa, hold that thought, is in the mid lane we have some initiation, Andromeda going to get dropped like she's hot. Wretched Hag going to throw out the Bat Blast, or the Dove Blast in this case, where she's going to fall shortly after. Meraxus with the ultimate activated is going to go in. He's going to man up a little bit here. That's going to be most of his ultimate, ticking him down, though. He has taken... absorbing a lot of damage. The ultimate going to pop, only going to do 16 damage, and I think that may be the end of it. Maybe able to get an Arcane Shield off. Nope, not going to happen. That's going to be a hat trick coming out for the Witch Slayer on our Legion side. TFAO in great shape now. Before that engage, the item choice that's jumping out at me is on this Predator. Going for Alchemist Bones first. He's just now picked it up. 15-minute Alchemist Bones. Not where you want to be. This is one of these items that really changes based on how early you can pick it up. That cost effectiveness just goes exponential if you can get it in those super early moments. 15-minute Alchemist Bones. It's going to be a while before he even sees a return on investment on those bad boys, let alone you know, the ability to transition into some of those really late game carry items. I don't know. Makes me a little nervous, man. I don't quite agree with that choice here for our Brown Predator.
Yeah, I agree with you with that. So because if you want to get an Alchemist Bone, you have to farm it earlier, like within 6 minutes or 7 minutes on an Alchemist Bone on a carry hero to actually get a fullest potential. So right now you say that he gets it on the 15-minute mark, and it's not really a good choice because at the 15-minute mark, if you get an Alchemist Bone, it's really affecting you. I mean, it really proves that you can't farm and you are really lack of farming and you don't really have any items. So if you go for Alchemist Bone, you don't have any other items like any core or items that he needs, where Alchemist Bone is quite expensive on its own. It's almost 2k gold, and he can spend this 2k gold on other core items that is much more useful.
Yep. I absolutely agree with you, and especially in a game like this, if it was flip-flopped 18-6 in favor of the team that had Predator, then I would say maybe that choice makes sense here. But they're already so far behind. They're going to need every little bit that they can get. Right now, that means getting mid-game items, focusing on the now, focusing on what can I do to get some kills in the upcoming minutes of this game before we dig this hole a little bit too deep. I think our Hellborn team has the chance to come back here. If they take a couple of good team fights, get a few cost-effective exchanges, they can start whittling down this difference. Most of that gold difference is coming from towers. 8K experience is certainly something that they can climb back from, but they need to make it happen at the right time and in the right position. Right now, Predator's sitting only on red boots. He needs to get those steam boots up at least before he can even think about trying to participate in these team fights. And the longer they wait, the harder it's going to get. We see the Nullstones being complete for Draconis. Rampage, well, he's been able to pick up a Helm of the Black Legion, his vestments, as well as a Soul's Bulwark. Astrolabe on Glacius. The core items are coming out. Things are starting to get a little scary. You're going to see Wretched Hag get caught by the Rampage ult. Again, he's going to get stunned. Not going to be able to do too much, but the crowd control is going to be enough. Hag's going to fall. Card's going to go up in the air, and that's going to be the end of her. Andromeda also going to get taken out here. And, yeah, this fight looking very, very favorable for TFOA. They're going to pressure this Tier 2 tower. I don't know what the Hellborn team can do at this point. TBH needs to make something happen, but they may be forced to just sacrifice this tower. It's just Meraxis and Voodoo Jester here. Predator's actually pushing back top, picking up a little bit of farm, just now getting his steam boots, so he may be able to participate in this fight a little bit. But this push actually going to get fended off pretty easily here. We'll see if TFOA continues pushing or not.
So Draconis is on the bottom lane, getting the second tier tower for the bottom lane. So yeah, there we go. And yeah, wow, look at Draconis. He's like so overextending
So
right
mad.
here, and wow, and he's a big trouble right now, and he's definitely, wow, nice save by Hammerstorm. Wow, that stun is really huge, and right now it backfires back to the Hellborn team. So Rampage is in big trouble. He's going to fall anytime soon, and Moraxa is not bursting his shield. Burst it! Oh my god! No.
Oh, Meraxis. Meraxis could have had that kill. He needed to break the shield, as you pointed out. So artfully done by TFOA right there. Both Draconis as well as Rampage surviving with just a sliver of hit points. So nicely done. Hammerstorm, kind of the MVP right there to make that fight possible. 22-6. TFOA showing us what they're all about right there. Very nice plays coming out, man.
Yeah, definitely nice place. That star was definitely huge. It really saved Draconis and really bring him back with the potion. I mean, give him time to actually get on the potion and get back to the game. Well, big plays.
Big plays, man. Big plays indeed. Glad to see it. Do you see Draconis, though? Just about 3k gold in the bank. I'm kind of curious where he's going to go from here. He very well may just pick up a Frostburn. At this point, they're so far ahead that might not be a bad choice. We'll allow him some transition time as well. We can break into that Geometers and Frostwolf Skull. We do see a Shieldbreaker might not be a bad way to go as well. Do see at the Observatory here, Witchslayer picking up a free kill onto Voodoo Jester. Yeah, level 7 Poodoo. Striders, couple of Minor Totems. That's a free kill every time. Easy peasy. Speaking of free kills, though, Rampage in the mid. He's going to hand over his own life. Looks like a nice swap from Andromeda to make it possible. Void Rip. That's what it's all about, man.
Yeah, that's right. This is what they need. They need to find these opportunities, keep catching one of their heroes, and from there slowly build up their farms. And yeah, there we go. So they need more farms, especially Predator and Moraxus. Moraxus needs his PK as soon as possible to make engage more efficient for the Hellborn team. So right now, where we see Draconis actually had his Drunken Head pick up, well, that's really huge. And it's on the way, on the career.
Yep. Shrunken Head, 21-minute mark. That is really scary. Let's take a look at the GPM chart and see where Draconis is farming at. 580 GPM, and we see Predator with Alchemist Bones here, just barely at that 200 mark. He's going to be able to pick up a double stack here at the Ancients, so perhaps Predator's farm will hop up a little bit here after these creeps go down, but it's just such a huge disparity looking at that GPM chart. I think that kind of serves as an accurate predictor of how this game may unfold here in the upcoming moments.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, wow. Right now, Draconis is almost 600 GPM. So, actually, for me, I think that if you want to stop Draconis, you have to stop him early. So right now, he's almost unstoppable already. So he
Yeah.
had a stronger hand. He had an outstone. So it's really hard to stop him.
Yeah, and that is true for most heroes that can play that hard carry role. You know, you got to stop them before they get out of control. Witch Slayer going to be able to finish off Predator. Draconis is nearby. He's going to come in. Wretched Hag going to come. There's the Bat Blast. Only going to connect with Witch Slayer. The Shrunken Head's going to be used. The ultimate going to be popped as well. Draconis trying to make something happen. I think he's going to be able to finish off Andromeda. Blazing Strike going to be used. Yep, G is going to rain from the heaven. All the while back here, we do see Witch Slayer actually going to get finished off. Hammerstorm getting dangerously low. And there's the Glacial Downpour. Mirax is going to miss the axe, and Glacius may actually be able to survive this. Wow, it looks like he will be able to, no problem. Rampage going to charge in. That's going to be the end of Voodoo Jester. Draconis going to continue the engage. Miraxis doesn't have an out here. Arcane Shield's on cooldown. No mana for anything else. Draconis with the Blazing Flight going to be able to get ahead of him. Hat Trick now going to come out for Draconis. Beautifully done by Ho Lee. And he's just going to go back to farming this lane. 27-8 TFOA. Incredible Draconis play. Another 2k gold in the bank. I think you're right, Min. There's no stopping him at this point. It's a massacre.
Yeah, definitely. He's unstoppable right now. He had a now stone. You have to cancel it, but he had a stronger hand at the back. So, wow, it's really hard to actually land an engage on Draconis, especially.
Yeah, that's definitely true. The items also just playing a big role here. We see that Astrolabe has come in handy twice now, keeping some folks alive. The Shrunken Head, as you mentioned, even the Soul's Bulwark. There are at least some core items being finished on this Legion team. The Hellborn side, I guess you could say Alchemist Bones is the only, quote, core item here on the field. We're going to see Rampage get caught again. Or pardon me, Predator going to get caught again by Rampage and Witchslayer. Another easy kill, no big surprise there. Plenty of crowd control between Rampage and Witchslayer, even with the Stone Hide. Unfortunately, Predator is countered a little bit by Rampage, I suppose you could say, because all of his disables are physical. That ultimate will go through Stone Hide, no problem, as will Bash, as will the Stampede Stun. Is that physical? This may be magic, actually. No, it's physical.
It's physical.
So,
yeah,
all that goes through Predator, so that does counter the effectiveness of that Stone Hide quite a bit. Something I don't think we've pointed out yet, but one of those little counters minimizing the effectiveness of Predator here. Steam Boots and Alchemist Bones, the name of the game here.
Yeah, definitely. Rampage is a direct counter to Predator because almost all of his... While we look at the top lane, they actually cast their ultimate and their stuns onto an illusion of Witchslayer. That was like, oh.
I saw. I missed it at the end. I thought that was an illusion, so I was just like, oh, okay, no big deal. I didn't think they would blow all that stuff. So that's, you're right. Yeah, there's the Void Rip.
Yeah.
It's pro
okay,
illusions.
to continue what I said off just now, so Rampage, more of his skills are all physical, so it's a direct counter to Predator. If they can't actually get Tundra in this game, Rampage is actually a great counter against Predator. So, yeah, as we can see from this game and the previous game, each team picks Predator, and the other team automatically they pick Rampage as a counter.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah, definitely a good thing to point out. Like I said, not something that neither of us seemed to mention somehow. I don't know how I didn't connect the dots on that a little sooner. Whoa, beautiful blink from Witchslayer right there. Mitigating some damage from Wretched Hag. It's so cute. It's Wretched Hag, Wretched Doves. So adorable. And you see, it's a shame that her ultimate's called Bat Blast. I see the Bat Blast come, and it's just all doves. I'm like, ugh, I feel like that's such a misnomer. What if there's a new viewer out there who's so confused, just like, why is she called Wretched Hag, but shoots doves? It's so so confusing to my innocent Han brain.
Yeah, that's right.
And there we go. Witchslayer going to initiate onto Andromeda. It's going to be easy peasy. Glacius actually the one to pick up the kill. Tundra Blast for the KS. Rampage going to charge back here. Looks like they're going to continue the onslaught. Blink forward from Mr. Hammerstorm. Oh, the tablet actually Well, I guess a little counterproductive there, but no problem. Voodoo Jester still going to fall. Going to see Rampage head for the hill, or gosh, Meraxis head for the hills. Similar model to Rampage, but yeah, Meraxis going to head for the hills. Meraxis really does look a lot like Rampage. It's a big guy riding a big beast thing.
Is it? I'm not sure about that.
Or is Meraxis just one big solid thing? Meraxis isn't riding. He's just he's a centaur.
Yeah, he's just.
Oh, I didn't mean to insult Meraxis. Oh gosh. I guess yeah. Rampage is actually a guy riding a rhino. Anyhow, we are going to see the engage continue, though. The Shrunken Head Draconis going in here and just obliterating the competition as we see some of that Gangster Flare coming out, doing an absurd amount of damage. The Cataclysmic Assault on cooldown here, and it looks like he did pick up kills on the 2 supports. Voodoo Jester and Andromeda going to pay the ultimate price. Wretched Hag not going to get caught by the stun, but there's the ultimate from Rampage onto Meraxis. You're not going to make it back to the well, buddy. Top lane Rax going to fall, and Draconis just having a field day here, camping outside the well. I think it's safe to say this one's over. Unfortunately, TBH going to be forced into a loss here in the round of 32 against TFAO, but very nicely done by the Legion team. It's another kind of one-sided game here, but the thing that stands out at me is even though they've been ahead for most of this game, we've seen continual big plays coming out. I mean, we've seen nice farming, some nice portal key work. Quad kill going to come out for Draconis as he dives the well, but TFAO definitely showing us what they're made of here tonight, man.
Yeah, definitely. I really approve of their skills, and they are really good players. So, well, perhaps as we can see just now, Draconis, just one Draconis is able to just take down 5 of their heroes. This proves that how one-sided this game is, and like we all always emphasize, if you want to stop a carry hero, stop it early. Don't stop it when you think that you are able. Oh shit! I mean, oh my god, Draconis is overfarmed. We should stop him right now, and it's already too late. Everything is out of control. He's already unstoppable.
Yeah, it's just a little ridiculous at this point, and part of the problem again is that Predator build. Take a look at the GPM chart with Alchemist Bones, still not able to really break that 200 GPM barrier. You know, to those of you out there playing carry heroes, Alchemist Bones is not a fail-safe to get your carry farmed. It is a double-edged sword. If you get it late, it can be a huge waste of money, and I think this game is a pretty good example of why Alchemist Bones is, well, why it's useful in some situations and not so much in others. But in true Southeast Asian mentality here, man, looks like we're going to see mid lane of Rax, probably the bottom lane as well, get taken out before we see this throne pushed. Still a little bit strange to me, but evidence would point to that just being the route that folks in this area of the world tend to go for. More often than not, we see all lanes of Rax down, as we mentioned. I think maybe in every cast, but it's true. Last game, is that what happened last game? Did we see all lanes of Rax fall in game 1? We saw
no,
we
don't.
Okay, all right, so that's good. We'll see.
Yeah, I think it's just us. I'm not really sure, but I myself, I myself as well. I like to push all lane instead of just Rexing straight from one lane. Wow, look at that! Just a graveyard silver bullet be able to take down Voodoo Jester. Definitely. Easy kill.
Yeah, this Witch Slayer is reminiscent of game 1, where when he gets out of control, that ultimate just does so much damage. And you get to see fun plays like that.
Yeah. But we don't see a Codex Witch Slayer in this game.
Yeah, going for a little bit more of a support build, but a similar kind of scenario here. We do see a kill come out onto poor Meraxis. The bottom lane of Rax falls. Creeps from the top pushing in. It is definitely over at this point. Really just a matter of time. And there you go, man. Feel good about predicting this. They're going to go straight for the mid lane. Just going to take out the tower, take out the Rax. Make sure that we can secure this win no matter what.
Yep. That's the mentality of Asians, I think. I'm not really sure.
The mentality of Asians. You said it, not me. It's not racist since you're Asian.
Yeah, it's not. I'm Asian, so no racism.
Oh man, no, it is true though. It really is something that I've noticed, and it's kind of funny, you know, not to bring up Dota 2, but you know, there's no concede function in that game, and one of the things that in my mind I think where Han is still vastly superior, that you have the ability to concede, and it's funny that it's just not used. They don't seem to care about concede, and for me that's still one big frustration. One of the things that I think Han still has a leg up is. I like the concede function. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
it gives you the ability to end game faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in best of ones, this makes sense, you know, and that is actually probably a good thing to point out. In a best of one series, it does make sense to play it safe. It's we're not going to take any risks. We're not going to get overzealous. We're not going to dive the well. We're just going to get every lane of racks, and we're going to make sure there's absolutely nothing we can do to lose this game, except the one ranged racks is still alive here. But I can understand the mentality. In a best of 3, I think the concede function is a little bit more, not useful, but something to keep in mind. You know, the idea of not ruining your morale if you have a tough game, and just saying, all right, you know what, we're going to cut our losses, we're going to move on, we're going to start this series over and take these next 2 games. That can be a very powerful thing sometimes. In best of ones, not so much. So there you go, guys.
Yeah.
There are our post-game stats for TFAO versus TBH. I think we're going to have another match coming up soon. We do have a lunch break on the schedule coming up pretty quickly here as well. So we're going to have to double-check the schedule. But there's going to be plenty more Heroes of North action coming your way tonight, guys. So be sure to stay tuned.